Now the scripture. So cute. The Lord says, do not be afraid, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell your possessions and give alms. Make purchases for yourselves that do not wear out, an unfailing treasure in heaven, where no thief comes near or no moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Be dressed for action and have your lamps lit. Be like those who are waiting for their master to return from the wedding banquet, and so that they may open the door for him as soon as he comes and knocks. Blessed are those slaves whom the master finds alert when he comes. Truly I tell you, he will fasten his belt and have them sit down to eat, and he will come and serve them. If he comes during the middle of the night or near dawn and finds them so, blessed are those slaves. But know this, the owner of the house had known at what hour the thief was coming. He would not have let his house be broken into. You also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an unexpected hour. It's the word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
Something happened that changed in this country in 2016 with the election of Donald Trump as President of the United States. And what it is how the office of the White House and the office of the Presidency of the United States now communicates with us here who live here out in the world. It used to be through press conferences. We don't even have press conferences anymore. What we have are presidential tweets, right? You get tweets. I don't know anything about Twitter. I know nothing. All I know is a little blue bird symbol that you can put on your phone, and somehow you're limited in how many characters you can use. I know it used to be 140. I think it's up to like 200 something you can use now. Anyway, what you have to do is you got to take your thoughts and you got to compress them down to make sure it will fit your tweet. Okay? And so we almost daily get some sort of something from the Twitter feed from the White House. Some of it's policy. Some of it's positions that he's taken that nobody knew anything about. I think today was he received a letter from Kim Jong-un about wanting to resume talks again. My favorite though is when sometimes I watch Stephen Colbert. I don't watch him often, I can't stay up that late. But Stephen Colbert comes on, and when he talks about presidential tweets, he uses his Donald Trump voice and fills in all the gaps. It's pretty fun. Now, younger people, younger than me, so old, younger people are able to follow these tweets and Twitters and stuff like that so much better than my generation. I think. Because they're able to process things and think that way because they've kind of been trained on how to do that. To think a little faster on their feet. And to process big pieces of information into their basic components. One college is even teaching a class called Twiterature, where it takes a work of literature and then you have to reduce it down to a tweet. Okay, 140 characters at the time. Now, I thought Cliff Notes was really cutting some corners when I was in college. Thank you, Lord, for Cliff Notes. But now trimming it all the way down to these, to a tweet. Take a work of Shakespeare. Boy and girl fall in love. Families feud. Boy and girl are dead. Sad emoji. So there you got, Romeo and Juliet all wrapped up in a tweet. And you think, Willie Shakespeare's rolling around in his grave now thinking about it. The thing is, though, those kids actually have to read the entire work before they're able to make these tweets come out. So they are learning the literature before they put those tweets together. In today's scripture lesson, we have a short course in eschatology. Now, eschatology is the study of the end of time. Okay? And what that means to us. And what we have here is Jesus giving us a real short course in eschatology. Now, some of you may get your eschatology off of a bumper sticker. Jesus is coming, and boy is he mad. Or Jesus is coming. Look busy. However you feel about the end of time and about the coming of the Lord again, will depend on whether or not you even care about these type of things. A lot of folks here read the Left Behind series. Do you know where your Left Behind series is now? I'm guessing it's probably either here in the church library next to the Prayer of Jabez or down at Community Ministries on one of their shelves. But some people may cling to it, read it, think about it, worry about it. We get preoccupied with our thinking of our Christian theologies. Do you think this is the end of time? Are we seeing the signs today? Well, we don't know when the Master's coming to. We don't know when the Master's going to come through the door. The question is for us, where are we in our faith walk today? We get a few practical ideas about how to be ready. Jesus starts out right away by telling us, do not be afraid, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. So the first thing we need to do when we start thinking about the coming of Jesus and the end of days is to not be afraid of it. Because we belong to the flock of God. And because we're part of the flock, He wants to give us His good pleasure. Choose to trust God in His unseen ways. Now, for some of us, that makes us very uncomfortable. Because we like to be in control. We like to be in control of everything. We like to know when things are going to happen. We want our calendar filled before the year even starts. But God is telling us to be prepared every day. He says, little flock. What we need to understand is this. Our lives are fragile. Our lives are fragile, and there's only two ways out of this life. One, we are going to die. Or two, Jesus is going to come. Those are our two ways out. Those are the two ways our end times are going to come. But we need to live the life that we have now without fear. We can't be running around like Chicken Little. Sky is falling, the sky is falling, this catastrophe, turn around and be scared all the time. We're not supposed to feel that way. We're supposed to be feeling a lack of fear. But how many of us have a lack of fear when we start thinking about the end time? Because we start to question, am I ready? If right now, it is our end. Billy Graham used to ask that question all the time. Remember when Billy Graham would stand up there and say, if the Lord would come upon this stadium tonight, would you be ready? Are you ready? Are you not afraid? Are you excited that that possibility could happen? And if you are afraid, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? He also writes, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. What he's telling us is we have to start changing our perspective on the temporary and start thinking about the eternal. That our lives are not just now, but they are forever. That from this life is a new life. From this body is a new body. Where are we laying up our treasures? Let's say you get to live a wonderful, what's a good age? 75. There's a good age. Huh? You want to go higher? Why do you need to go higher? I'm talking about, oh, okay, let's go up. Let's go up to 80, 85. For those who have gone past it, yay! All right? Let's say we get to live a long time. Okay? Compare those 80 years to what will lie beyond it. Eternity. Those 80 years are a short period of time. And after this life is an eternal life where time will not going to matter anymore. You will not have an alarm clock in heaven. Okay? You won't need them. Because it's all eternal. So where are we laying up our treasures now? We got to get a grip on how we use our treasures here on earth as evidence of where we plan to be after. As he said, be dressed for action. Oh, that's not what I want. Oh, make your purses for yourselves that do not wear out, an unfailing treasure in heaven. So we got to create the purse, a heaven purse. A heaven purse. And how can we do that? Maybe you have an empty bedroom in your house. And you have a friend or relative that needs a place to stay. And you're willing to offer to help them out of a bad situation. Are you working at making sure that when you write out your monthly budget, that you're putting a line in there for the church or some charities to make sure that they're being taken care of, that you're looking out for those who do not have? Nice little trick. Get a few snacks, protein bars, some socks, a little bit of toiletries, and maybe a $10 bill, put them in a Ziploc bag. And now keep it in the car, keep it in the dash, keep it at the console, going down the road, sometimes go to a Walmart, something like that. Somebody will be standing there with a sign, need some help, you're ready to go. Just hand them the bag and help them out a little bit. Sit down with your family. Talk about giving. Talk about charity. Talk about the church and how you can help. One suggestion is look around your house at stuff you don't need, that you really need to unclutter from. Put it out on Craigslist or have a yard sale. And use the money towards charity works. These are ways. Now, they may make you feel uncomfortable to sit back and think about those things, but if they do make you uncomfortable, why does it make you uncomfortable? Good question to ask. Where are you putting your treasure? And finally, he says, be dressed for action and have your lamps lit. Be ready to go. These servants or these slaves in this parable that Jesus tells, that's us. And the master of the house, that's Jesus. Now, when he comes home, is the place going to be ready for him? Is he going? Have we prepared the home for when the master arrives? And that home is our place. Are our hearts ready to receive Jesus Christ? Are our hearts prepared to receive? That's a question to ask. Look, I go into a lot of homes. I realize that there's two ways people live. There's people that live in a house that's absolutely immaculate. When you go in, everything's dusted, everything's in its place, nothing can be moved, pristine at all times. I've gone into homes that, well, if they knew I was coming, they would have picked off a little bit. Okay? How's the Lord going to find your home? You got it all squared up? Or does it need picked up a bit? If he comes to that. Are you ready? Or when the Lord calls on you? I thought about this at one time in my life. I almost drowned one time. I tried to swim across a pond that was a little further than I thought it was. I got about 3/4 of the way across, and I ran out of gas. And I started floating. And I was in trouble. You have those near-death moments, and it kind of wakes you up and makes you ask yourself, wow, and was I ready if this was my time? Fortunately, I had a friend of mine who happened to just be floating along on an inner tube. What are you doing out here? Well, I'm trying. And he stopped and grabbed a hold of the inner tube and got me saved. But I knew at that time, when I was young, I was not ready. I was not ready. Question is, am I ready now? If today was my day, am I ready now? That's a question we all need to ask ourselves. And if we were going to put today's scripture lesson into a tweet, maybe we could say this. Jesus is coming. This life is not all there is. Don't be afraid. Have a perspective of eternity. Get ready for action. That's pretty good. And that was under 100 characters. I could put a smile on this. Okay? Jesus is coming. This life is not all there is. Be not afraid. Eternity awaits. Get ready for action. Thanks be to God. Amen. Now our closing hymn today